The doctor is back in the office, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different from what we usually do, different from the card breakdowns, the post-fight reactions, the matchups to make. We are going to be doing a UFC most wanted list. My 6 dudes in the UFC who I have a bounty on their head on. I absolutely hate them. They are terrorists of the sport, and they need to be stopped. Whoever knocks these dudes out, 100K personally from me. And you get bonuses depending on who knocks them out. You'll see as the video goes on. All these dudes are ranked. Everybody knows who these guys are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This whole week we're going to be pushing out JDM propaganda, prepping for the JDM versus Islam fight, and the banger of a card that UFC 322 is. Let's start off with our first most wanted guy. Really the reason why this video was made. Gabriel fucking Bonfim. I fucking hate this dude so much. He's an absolute bum, this guy. I was not impressed by your performance. That's what I thought of his Randy Brown fight. No, I'm kidding. I actually was impressed by his performance against Randy Brown, where he's just spamming the calf kicks, beating up that front leg of Randy Brown, and not even having to use his wrestling. I'll give him that. He looked good in his last fight. But outside of that Randy Brown fight, your best win is against an 80-year-old Wonder Boy. And I saw losers on Twitter, I don't know where these people pop up from, saying, yeah, this guy Gabriel Bonfim, he's a legit contender, man. That's a nasty pick by me. Gabriel Bonfim, he's a legit contender. Gabriel Bonfim absolutely sucks. He is so boring. The only reason he beat Wonder Boy was because he resorted to holding him and hugging him against the fence for an entire round, which I probably could have done, if I'm being quite honest with you. Listen, again, impressive win over Randy Brown where he actually looked decent and didn't have to use his grappling whatsoever. But he does nothing fun. There's nothing impressive. That Chaos Williams submission win that he had, whatever, a few years back, is just aging worse and worse because Chaos Williams absolutely fucking sucks. This guy is not fun whatsoever. I think the last dude to beat him, his one loss as a professional, was when he got knocked out by Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby, I wish you could have knocked him out now, because you would get 100K personally for me. I'd give you 100K to knock this dude out. Also, he had a win over like Anje Unje Lusa, which is like, again, fuck it, like any sub Trey Waters in Dana White Contender Series, but the dude has no fun wins. He's so boring to watch. Now he called out Colby Covington, who's 10th for some reason. Colby, bro, you know I hate you, but listen to me. If you knock Gabriel Bonfim out, I'll give you 200K. Not 100, 200K because it's you, and we haven't seen you in the octagon in well over a year. You're like a shiny Pokemon that we can't fucking find. It's ridiculous. And fake hardcores are saying this dude is a true contender. There is nobody. Let's actually go back to the welterweight division rankings. Who is he beating inside the top 10 outside of, he beat Colby Covington, he'd probably beat Gilbert Burns, Jeff Neal, D-Rod, Mike Malott. Like, these are all dudes he could beat. There's nobody in the top 10 that this guy is beating. He is not a legit contender whatsoever. He absolutely fucking sucks. He has nothing, no impressive wins. His best win is Randy Brown, and I'll give him that. It was solid. But 200K if Colby Covington finishes him. But for everybody else on the roster, 100K is the bounty that I have on this guy's head. If you could finish him. And shit, maybe you can knock some sense into him. He becomes interesting all of a sudden. But until then, I fucking hate this guy. He is so boring. And partially the Wonder Boy fight made me hate this dude. But even if that Wonder Boy fight never happened and this guy ended up in the rankings somehow, I'd still hate him because he is so incredibly boring. Imagine this guy manages to get inside the top 10 of the rankings. That would be absolutely despicable. Whatever, enough bitching about Gabriel Bonfim. Let's move on to our second guy, who's pretty skilled, I'll give him that, and that would be Carlos Ulberg. Here's what I'll say about Carlos Ulberg. His face pisses me off. He just is a scumbag. This dude, he just seems like a dick and a douche anytime you hear this guy talk. And living in a world where this dude is top 3 in the division is already hard enough. Once this dude gets a title shot, which is probably going to happen if either Alex Pereira stays in the division, he fights Pereira, or Pereira, is out with an injury and they have to create an interim, or he moves up and there's a vacant, he has to fight Yuri. Either way, this dude's getting a title shot. And listen, he has skills. He's got good distance management. He can flick those calf kicks at you. He's a good counter puncher. He's got great footwork. But again, I fucking hate this dude so much. And I think he's the highest guy that we have on this list, and probably, the most well-rounded. And again, not all of the hate from this guy He's coming from the Dom Reyes finish, which hurt me personally because he knocked him out cold. But I just don't think this dude's anything special. He doesn't really have, KO power in terms of top guys in the division. Like, went to a controversial decision with Jan Blachowicz that he really didn't do anything in. And then the only other ranked guy that he's finished is Alonzo Menafield, who's 15th, 14th ranked. He sucks, Alonzo Menafield. But just, again, I think this guy is an absolute dick. I don't think he's ever going to win the belt, but goddamn it, if this guy fucking wins the belt, you're never going to hear from me ever again. Carlos Ulberg, I fucking despise everything about you. You're a good-looking dude, don't get me wrong. Kind of have a little bit of that Rock look going. You do look like The Rock, but I just don't like anything about you. I think your tattoos are a little bit gay. I don't really like that weird thing you got going on in the right side of your chest. That bothers me a little bit. So, but whatever. I just think this guy's boring. I think he's a scumbag, man. The Dominic Reyes finish, does it have some part of why I have a bounty on this guy's head? Obviously, I love Dom Reyes, but even then, Carlos Ulberg, you've always been boring. You always just pitter-patter with the calf kicks from range and wait for a dude to overcommit, and then you crack him in the face. But you only have 2 finishes of a ranked guys, and one of those Dom Reyes, whose chin is cooked, man. That guy's chin is cooked. And Alonzo Menafield, who absolutely sucks. So Carlos Ulberg, you come on second. You really do have a case for number 1, though, because light heavyweight's got a lot more of my guys in it in terms of welterweight. Welterweight has my guys, too, but Gabriel Bonfim poses no legit threat to the title. Carlos Ulberg, at the very least, is, a top 3 dude in the division. So Alex Pereira, if you beat him, you get 100K from me. If you knock him out, or when both of you guys knock him out, whenever it happens, 100K personally from me. Either way, somebody getting 100K, whether it's Yair or Alex Pereira, somebody is going to sleep. This Australian, New Zealand, wherever the fuck he's from, scumbag, model-looking bum. Now we're going to move on to our third dude, and I've always hated this guy. Aiemann Zahabi. First of all, fuck this dude. Honestly, $1 million if somebody finishes Aiemann Zahabi. He's a 37-year-old Aiemann Zahabi, Ariel Helwani ass looking freak. He's an old prospect. I don't really know who wants to see this dude win, even though I picked him to beat Chito Vera. I didn't want him to beat Chito Vera. And let's face it, Aiemann Zahabi almost got finished in that fucking second round. You know what I mean? It wasn't that impressive a performance. I'll give him credit. In the third round, he really did grit it out. And Chito Vera fights always come down to if he just threw 5 more strikes, he probably does enough and wins. But that didn't happen. So, and another thing that pisses me off about this dude is that he called out Sean O'Malley. You have 0 place fighting a guy of Sean O'Malley's pedigree. You know what I mean? And you know what? Give him Sean O'Malley. I would love to see him Sean O'Malley. I would love personally to give you $100,000 or $1 million to sleep this Ariel Helwani looking bum. And also, the only reason this dude is ranked is because, the only reason this guy is, 7th in the division, is because he scraped and went to war with an 80-year-old Jose Aldo in a fight that he probably lost, and then proceeded to go to war with a washed Chito Vera, where he legitimately almost got finished. So I'll give credit to Aiemann Zahabi for this. He somehow finds a way to win these fights. The Aldo fight he didn't win. He definitely beat Chito Vera. I saw some Cheeto people thinking he won, but it just pisses me off that this guy is 37 years old, thinks he's a legitimate title contender, thinks he has the right to call out a Sean O'Malley. Realistically, like Mario Batista, he would have, if I started this channel months ago, he would have been in the Aiemann Zahabi spot, but I've almost grown to like Mario Batista more as Patchy Mix has continued to shit the bed, and Zahabi has kind of taken the Mario Batista spot in the bantamweight division in terms of guy I hate. But I'll say this about Aiemann Zahabi. He is skilled. He's in a skillful division, so I'm not going to say he sucks, because he doesn't suck, but he has beaten dudes who are incredibly flawed and old. So, do I think he can beat a bunch of the bottom tier guys in the division in terms of ranked guys and anybody below him? Yeah, I think Mario Batista would beat Aiemann Zahabi. I think Aiemann Zahabi's best chance of becoming, again, he would see, I think at best he's the 6th best bantamweight in the division. Currently, I would say Batista's the 6th best bantamweight, but he could probably beat Figgy, Aiemann Zahabi. But who the fuck knows? Imagine Figgy knocked him out. Like, Figgy has no KO power anymore, but imagine that were the case. So I just want to see this dude get slept so badly, whether it's Figgy, whether Mario Batista fights him, whether they let Sean O'Malley fight this guy, which wouldn't happen. There's O'Malley versus Song Yadong or O'Malley versus Sanhagen is a matchup that's going to be made. It's not going to be against Aiemann Zahabi. They're not going to waste Sean O'Malley on this nobody who's incredibly boring and does nothing inside the octagon. But shit, if they want to give him Sean O'Malley and we want to see a highlight reel finish, by all means, I'm glad to give $100,000 to Sean O'Malley. Whatever, fuck Aiemann Zahabi. You come in third in the list of terrorists of the sport and guy that I have a bounty personally on. Moving on to number 4, Ian Garry. This is an easy one. You could argue Ian Garry actually being higher, but I was like, Ian Garry, he is pretty skilled. He's in a good division. He's pretty skilled. I still, as I say that, I really hate this dude. I think listen, kid. Ian Garry, you're a solid fighter, and you seem like a nice guy despite you being a cuck, but I think you're also a douchebag at the same time. You think you're a little bit better than everyone. Your voice is so fucking annoying. You copy a lot of McGregor mannerisms and shit. I don't really blame you. You're like Irish, but you're also cosplaying as a Brazilian. But I don't want to live in a world where this guy gets a title shot if he beats Bilal. Like, we are relying on Bilal Muhammad to save us. And when that video comes out, me breaking down this card, and I'm probably going to pick Ian Garry to win because it's 3 rounds, I'm going to be pushing heavily for the mayor of Chicago, the king of Chicago, Bilal Muhammad, Bilal King Von Muhammad. And I'll say this, I'll do a little bit of Ian Garry. Ian Garry is fast on his feet. He has good takedown defense. He can pick you apart from range. He does have solid striking. He is a smart fighter, and he is really fast on his feet. And he can kind of dictate the pace of fights, so I'll give him that. Like, I don't think he's bad whatsoever. But he is kind of a decision merchant. You look, he finished D-Rod, but he beat Neil Magny, he beat Jeff Neal, he beat MVP, he beat Carlos Prates. And fittingly, D-Rod, he'll get mentioned soon enough as a guy on this list. Fittingly, you just don't finish anybody. That didn't make any sense what I just fucking said. But if Carlos Prates wasn't a fucking idiot, he would have finished you in that 5th round, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Ian Garry would probably still be on the list, but I wouldn't be really caring much about your career because you'd still be a couple wins away from a title shot. But now if you beat Bilal, we're gonna hear this dude whine on Twitter and Instagram. I deserve a shot at the title. Like, can't really do the Irish accent despite being Irish, but it just fucking sucks. I can't do it. But and also this guy glazes Shavkat because he lost a 5-round decision to him, a unanimous decision. It wasn't like it was fucking split where he goes, I went 5 rounds with Shavkat Rakhmonov. I made him look human. Like, that's how he talks. Like, it just pisses me off so much. And I don't think he's that fun to watch. Again, he just goes straight decisions. And he claims that this Bilal fight's not going to go to decision. It'll go to fucking decision. Bilal makes fights a snoozer too, even though I do like him. I just think this dude's a douchebag. I might up it to $1 million if you knock Ian Garry out because it'll be so funny. It's not going to be Bilal, though. Maybe Bilal gets his second knockout in the UFC, which, who knows? I mean, he's finished Sean Brady. Why can't he do it to Ian Garry? You know what I mean? And again, I don't want to live in a world where this guy gets a title shot. And when he does beat Bilal, which I think is going to happen, it would be pretty funny to watch Islam either grapple fuck Ian Garry or JDM absolutely piece this dude up on the feet. Either way, he's getting destroyed and killed in his next match. So would it be the worst thing if Ian Garry got a title shot? Maybe not, because he would just get absolutely slimed out and smothered by JDM or Islam. But at the same time, I don't want to see this dude in important press conferences. I already have to see this guy come in against Bilal, so pray for all the UFC for that. But hopefully King of Chicago, Mayor of Chicago, Bilal Muhammad can put him out $100K. If Bilal does it, I'll give him $2 million. If Bilal Muhammad finishes, knocks out Ian Garry, you get $500,000 from me personally, and you can hit me up for that, Bilal. I might not have it now, but by the time I make it in life, you can get $500K from me. Moving on to the next dude on our list, the 5th guy on our list. That'll be fucking D-Rod. D-Rod's easily in terms of skill, he's the worst guy. I'm not going to spoil who the 6th guy is, but Daniel Rodriguez is easily the worst dude on this list. He looks like a nightclub bouncer / ex-convict. I think he actually might be an ex-convict. And he kind of looks like one of the prisoners on Beyond Scared Straight, the show where they talk to the kids, where he would give like a kid Kool-Aid powder and then tell him to wipe the Kool-Aid powder on the lips. Shout out if you get that reference. But Kevin Holland's the only reason you're on the rankings here. Right? Maybe there's another win that I can mention in here, but the fact that Kevin Holland let this dude come into the rankings, especially when Kevin Holland looked like he was like on a nice run in welterweight, and was showing promise in the division with a nice sub over Vicente Luque. He just comes in and absolutely shits the bed against Yair Rodriguez, where he's doing all these dumb flying knees, shit that doesn't make any sense. It's what I should have expected from Kevin Holland when that fight took place back in July or August. It's my own fault. And I think his best wins before becoming ranked were beating washed Kevin Lee and Mike fucking Platinum Mike Perry. And I think this D-Rod is the perfect example of what happened after Harambe died, how we entered into an alternate reality. If Harambe didn't die, we wouldn't have to live with guys like D-Rod within the top 15. Because if you look at the 10 through 15 of welterweight, man, it's shitty. You have fucking Colby, D-Rod, Jeff Neal, Gilbert Burns, Mike Malott, Gabriel Bonfim. And Mike Malott I think is decent. And Jeff Neal's an unk gatekeeper, but Gilbert Burns, I love you, but you got to go, buddy. But that's what I'm talking about. That 10 through 15 is rough, and then D-Rod is a product of it because he sits at 13. He's a clear product of Harambe dying. You know what I mean? If Harambe doesn't die, D-Rod, he's probably locked up in jail doing that shit with the kids with the Kool-Aid powder. And also, look at his build. He's just built like a fucking square. He kind of looks like one of the extras in the first Fast and Furious with Hector. Remember that dude? He looks like he drives like a fucking, I don't know, one of those cars that goes up and down. I don't know, the one in Cars, you know what I mean? I just hate this. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but anytime he's fought decent comp, like Nicholas Dalby, Ian Garry, or Kelvin Gastelum, he loses. And this guy, fun fact about D-Rod, he got subbed by Neil Magny, who, that's the litmus test at welterweight. If you beat Neil Magny, then you're ranked. And if you don't, you never see the rankings. I think Mike Malott, he's in the rankings now. But you got to build your way back up to get to a position where you could get in the rankings. I don't think you deserve it. I'm going to put a 100K bounty on whoever finishes this guy. And he, maybe 50K, because he is easily the worst fighter on this list. 100K, I don't want to keep giving out money to finishing D-Rod. But 50K to whoever finishes D-Rod. It should be pretty easily. I don't really know when this guy's ever fighting again. He might be in jail. But you shouldn't be in the rankings based off of a Kevin Holland win who jumps between welterweight and middleweight, takes 8 fights a year, and jokes around and is laughing. And he's beatable, so I'm probably going to lose. This might be the only fight that I guarantee lose the money on, because some of these other dudes, maybe they just lose decisions the rest of their career. D-Rod's going to get finished. There's no other way about it. But easily the worst fight on this list. And moving on to the last guy that I'm going to put on my UFC most wanted, last dude that I have a bounty on. I'm sure I can name some more. Maybe I'll put some honorable mentions at the end. But that's going to be Yair Rodriguez. And it has little to do with what this guy does in the octagon, because he is fun to watch. He does all these cool-ass kicks. And originally I was just going to stick to 5 names, but I was like, Yair Rodriguez, he deserves to get a little bit of shit from me. I haven't talked about him on this channel at all. And I figured I would just throw in another guy that I don't like. And listen, kid, I like how you fight. I like your fighting style. You have some good wins in the UFC. But the guy fights once a year. What he fought, Pitbull 2025, Brian Ortega 2024, and Volk 2023. Those are his last 3 fights, I believe. And I know he's gotten finished rather recently in 2 of his last 3, but the Brian Ortega fight was in February of 2024, where he got subbed. And the Volk one was in 2023. And his only other win in that span was when he won the interim over Josh Emmett, or before the Volk fight. And then when he beat fucking Pitbull. And then the thing why I really have a hit on this guy's head is 2 reasons. One, because this guy was calling for a title shot after after winning a decision against Patricio Pitbull, who sucks. Pitbull's awful. Well, he's okay. Pitbull, I was under consideration for this list too, but I've kind of grown to respect him a little bit more after the whole Lucy and Kita saga that was. But this guy he beat shitty Pitbull by decision, thinks he deserves a title shot. And then I'm just like, why would anybody want to see you fight Volk again when there are more deserving guys? Listen, I would love to see you fight Volk and get slept again. Don't get me wrong. And really the other second reason why this guy needs to be on this list is because of the whole Diego Lopez saga, where these dudes really have beef. They're calling it a punta, bitch, whatever. I'm trying to remember all my Spanish curse words. I should know more. I could say some other ones, but I might get demonetized. And there's obviously history in there. There's obvious beef. And it really pisses me off how the UFC hasn't forced us to get booked. It's not on Diego Lopez's fault. I'm sure he would beat this dude's ass willingly. I bet it's all Yair Rodriguez's fault because he's a bitch. And he's hurt half the time. And Listen, if he beat Diego Lopez, shit, then maybe we give you a title shot. I still don't think you deserve a title shot because you suck. But I just want to see this guy get slept badly. Diego Lopez, you could get 200K if you finish this guy, or when you finish him, if you ever fight. But it's such an easy fight to make. Like, put it as a feature fight on a main card, put it as a main event on a fight night. Shit, you listen. You could make an argument to put that as his main event on a pay-per-view. Like, that would be. I know that might sound insane, but it would be that fire of a fight. It would be that worth it to see Yair Rodriguez out cold, seizing on the ground. You're on this list because you don't show up for your job. You don't fight more than once a year. You duck Diego Lopez, and you're just an overall bitch. And he had that whole saga years ago when he fought Jeremy Stevens the first time, where he poked him in the eye and then was a bitch about that too, where he just whined and didn't understand. Like, he's a scumbag. And I think he beat the hardest hitting 145er, Jeremy Stevens, in the rematch. But whatever, that shit don't sit well with me, man. I mean, that shit don't sit well with me, man. I mean, come on. Fuck you, Yair Rodriguez. You're on this list because you're a bitch, bro. And you never fight, and you duck Diego Lopez. But that's the list. Other names that were under consideration for this list, I was thinking of putting Colby or Sean Strickland, but those seem like easy targets. And like Colby Covington, he never fights. And even if I put a bounty on his head, like, you would never be able to find him because he hasn't been spotted by the octagon in over a year. Sean Strickland's like an easy target, but nobody who finishes Sean Strickland besides Alex Pereira. Obviously, I love to see Fluffy knock out Sean Strickland, but I don't even think that would happen. I think Sean Strickland's just tough to put away. Ilya was another guy I was considering putting on here, but I was like, am I really going to put a champion on here? Like, everybody wants to see Ilya get knocked out, you know what I mean, and finish. But I'm not going to do that either. I'm trying to think, was there anybody else I was thinking of putting on here in terms of active champs? Not really. There was nobody in bantamweight. Flyweight, nah. I was thinking Manel Kopp, but even Manel Kopp, I just kind of think he's a little bit boring. But I wasn't considering putting him on here. Patchy Mix, but because nobody's finished Patchy Mix yet, I could have made an argument to have a bounty on Patchy Mix's head because he is. Actually, I'll do a little Patchy Mix spiel. Patchy Mix kind of makes sense in terms of nobody's finished him yet, so it would be funny to watch him get finished. But I think Patchy Mix's legacy is going to be he's so boring that you can't even finish him. You know what I mean? Like, he just eats shots to the face and it won't get finished. I think that's what Patchy Mix's UFC legacy is going to be, in that he absolutely sucked and you couldn't finish him. So Patchy Mix, Colby Covington, Sean Strickland, Ilya, those are my honorable mentions. I actually think Gaethje should be in there too because I'm just kind of sick of seeing that. I just want him to be done at this point. I'm kind of sick of hearing retirement talks with him. But that's the list. Gabriel Bonfim, Carlos Ulberg, Aiemann Zahabi, Ian Cuck Garry, D-Rod, the Convict, and Yair Rodriguez. I think it's a pretty nice list. I know Bedtime kind of did a video to this, but I wanted to do this video before I kind of kick off the UFC 322 breakdown where we glaze JDM. I want to do a film breakdown for JDM Islam either tomorrow or maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll do it before I do the actual card breakdown. But that's it. That's the video, mate. I mean, thanks for watching. Keep showing love on the TikTok and the Instagram. YouTube, I think we're at 60 subscribers now, so 40 away from 100. 1,000 we'll do a real special. 100, shit, maybe we'll do a funny video. But I'm banking on this week to be a big one with the content. But thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and the doctor is signing off.